Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all. I'm Pragya, your host for today. Happy to welcome you all to a brand new session of How We Did It series organized by Institute of Product Leadership. We have been successfully hosting How We Did It series, inviting Institute of Product Leadership alums to share their career transition journey into product roles. Before we start today's insightful session, let me give you a quick intro to the Institute. The Institute of Product Leadership is Asia's first business school providing accredited degree programs and certification courses in product management, leadership, data science, design, strategy. The Institute has partnered with 3 universities in India and the University of Houston in the United States. The Institute was founded in 2012 with a singular mission of creating 10,000 plus product leaders in the country. Ever since, the organization has designed and delivered programs in collaboration with various institutes, universities, and corporates to senior working professions to help them make career transition into product leadership. The Institute has built and developed a community of over 3,300 plus successful alumni, leading the product, data, and design team across the world. We are also knowledge partners for 240 plus organizations worldwide. You can find out more about the Institute and the programs offered on our website. Please check the chat window for the URL. And for those who have joined us via LinkedIn, please check the comment section for the URL. Folks, the International Certification in Product Management program is created and curated by industry CXOs focused on learning and career outcomes for aspiring current product managers, with many case studies, simulations, real-life projects, and personalized coaching. So go ahead and scan the QR code to know more about the program. Here's a moment to scan the QR code. Once our speakers present their insights, we'll open up for questions. Please keep your questions ready. You can post your question in the Zoom Q&A window, or you can raise your hand and we'll unmute you. This session is being streamed live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So viewers on any of these channels, please feel free to post your question in the comment section and we'll share it with our speakers. Without further delay, please allow me to welcome our very eminent speaker and host for today's panel discussion, Mr. Arvind K. Shastri. Currently, Arvind is working as a senior product manager at Induspace with experience in building industry-specific software solutions. He is also the founder of B2B SaaS startup. He has also created wow experience to users through innovation and design by leading at all stages, prototyping, MVPs, and developing. He also owns a product roadmap and led ideation and development for 2 ERP solutions with 5,000 plus user base. And for the panel discussion, I'm pleased to invite Mr. Kamal Pathak and Mr. Virendra Jipi. Mr. Kamal is a senior product manager with over 8 plus years of experience in SaaS and IoT industries. He has a proven track record of driving growth and innovation for B2B SaaS products. He is a strategic thinker with a strong understanding of user needs, market needs, and industry best practices. As a product manager, he has developed a strong ability to identify and articulate value proposition of product, and he's also skilled at creating compelling product roadmaps and go-to-market strategies. And Mr. Virendra Jipi is a product manager with 13 plus years of experience in software development, business analysis, product management, and consulting. He has a strong background in product management and is currently a product manager in the performance module, responsible for the goals and ORK offerings. He has an extensive experience in product management, including product ideation, concept creation, and product definition. Happy to welcome you, gentlemen. Now, to take the session forward, I'll hand over the session to Mr. Arvind.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you for the kind words. So I'm really happy to IPO. I'm thankful and happy that IPO invited me for this event, and to host this event is a real pleasure. So, all right. So maybe a quick intro about myself before I get into inviting Kamal and Virendra to share their experiences about product management and how they made it to product management and what they like about product management and so on. So I've been an IPL alumni for a long time as well. So IPL really transformed my learning experience and my skill sets into product management. So it's really not about my experiences. It's also about sharing experiences from Virendra and Kamal. So maybe I'll talk to Kamal first, and then we'll go to Virendra about how they really got interested into product management and what really drives them towards this. That's something we've all been thinking about, right? We all have different reasons to get into product management. Of me, for example, was really into entrepreneurship, and I really thought product management gives me boundaryless, thinking abilities and responsibilities. So that's what got me into product management. And I'd really like to know what, Kamal, for example, got him to product management, and why and how he transitioned into it. This could be the next question. But yes, go ahead, Kamal. What
Sure,
really
Arvind,
got you into product
thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good morning. A warm welcome to everybody, and thanks for joining. So, coming to the question, what got me interested in product management? Of course, I think a lot of people, even all the attendees who are coming here, they somehow feel that product management is something which is probably great, right? And all of them have their own different ideas that why product management is so great, and the whole world is catching up, right? It's becoming a mainstream. When I was transitioning into this role, and when I was even already doing it, I had no idea about it, right? It's just that I had always kept that spirit of entrepreneurship within the organization. I had a very different start of my career. After my high school, I joined at a contact center, and I was solving people's problem. I spoke to about 30,000 customers in the first year, and I think it helped me learn a few things. Then I moved on to a different role. I was into training people in of telecom operators across India and abroad. And then I moved to my CEO's office, right? That was like one time. But during this whole journey, I think something that remained a constant was my spirit to do things on my own, right? If I find something, I fix it, right? If I see something, I own it, right? So I think that's always been the case with me. And the moment I transitioned to the CEO's office, it was like a sea of learning, right? So it's like you learn business, you learn projects, and I was like handling multiple projects. We were building new things, and I realized that that was my adrenaline, right? It's like uh, you pick up a dead idea and you blow life into it, right? And you build something, and now people are using it, right? Thousands of people are now coming together, loving your product, leaving you great feedback. And that's something that's your adrenaline, right? That was like my kick for the whole thing. So I really knew that that was something that I had to do. There was something there was more structured approach towards my entrepreneurial spirit, because as a product manager, what you have to do is you have to own everything, right? You see something, you fix it. It's not anybody else's job, it's your job. It's not the engineer's job, it's not the project manager's job, it's not the leadership's job. It is like you have to deliver it. You've been given a goal, you have to reach it, right? Now you find ways to reach it. I think that was my quick story about what got me interested. So
Perfect.
I really enjoy doing it.
So I think to summarize, I think you were saying it's germination of idea to reality. So that's what got you really interested in product management, and you own the whole journey. That's really, I'm sure many of us can resonate to that as well. So maybe I'd like to go to Virendra and ask him the same question about what really got you interested in product management. Virendra.
Hey, thanks a lot, Arvind, and thanks a lot, Pragya, for that great introduction of yours. And thank you everyone for joining in, having spending some time on a Saturday morning. So welcome everybody else, and good morning to you all. So Arvind, going to this question about transitioning into, or even initially thinking about moving into product management, as Kamal rightly mentioned, everybody has their own reasons. And similarly, I also have a slightly different story from what Kamal had. So I was earlier working as a business analyst, as a project manager, as well as working on some consulting engagements for our clients. So all of these were like solving a problem for only a particular client at that point in time. Probably they did not see a very long lasting impact of it. They just wanted those things to be fixed at that point in time. I had some more ideas that how could they implement something more so that it would be beneficial for them in the long run. But the problem was all of these decisions were already made, and I was only part of the execution of it, like either as a business analyst or even as a project manager or even any consulting engagements. What needed to be done was predefined. I was only the executioner of it. there was some feedback that was taken, but then it was not really implemented into those projects. And in my current company, when I started to work, there was one gig opportunity that opened up. It was with the product management team. It was for the analysis of competitors related to a new feature that we were launching. So that got me introduced to the product management team. That team is based in New Zealand, is based in US, and then I used to have frequent interactions with them. And based on my analysis and how I'm going about it, and in using all of these competitive analysis that I came up with, using the feedback that I got from them, it really got me interested as to how these people think. How do they make sure that whatever we are building is having a long-lasting impact on our customers in the long run? And how would it benefit our current organization that we are working for? How will it ultimately impact our bottom line? So that is what got me interested, and that is where all of my journey started about finding out ways to get into product management and so on.
Oh, very interesting, right? So Virendra, if I were to summarize what you said, it's really about thinking about long run and the business perspective more than just finishing up the task at hand, which you were probably handling earlier, right? You were kind of doing project management, you were handling a particular customer or a set of customers and their needs and solving it, and there's a project start and there's a project end, and that's it, right? And then you start up something new, and it really doesn't give you any long-term learning or long-term goals that you can focus on and so on. Very interesting. You gave me a good perspective about the kind of role you were in and how you moved into product management. That's something that was actually kind of my next question, to say, what was your current role like? Maybe we could go to Kamal and ask him, because I think he has a very interesting story behind him about what kind of role he was in and how he got into product management. Maybe Kamal, it's time for your story, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? See, I think my role was poles apart from what I'm doing currently. Before I moved into product management, I was into training, right? So I was training the telco guys, their senior leaders, on how to make use of technology in their day-to-day life, right? So it's like how so 3G and 4G were launching in India. So I was training those people on, what do you do about it, right? So what's 4G actually, right? So it was like I was creating the awareness on cellular data across the country and even in the neighboring countries, right? So which means that would help those people define their strategies around it, right? So some technical information blended into a user behavior will tell the marketing guy how to really market it, right? So I was kind of doing that job, and I trained about 5,000 people. A core training guy, right? I would love to stand on the stage and own it, and make that happen, right? So that was my role. Poles apart, right? So, but yes, of course, it has given me a lot of things that I still use, right? So when I go on stage, right, my past experience really helps me. Right? So it helps me express myself, articulate my thoughts, and so on, right? That was my role. So.
You were so I also had a backhand conversation with Kamal. I think he was also talking about how he got into, I think, your CEO's office, and how he drove new product initiatives through your CEO's office and so on. That's something I was hoping you would share a little more. Maybe you could take a 10-20 seconds and share that story as well.
Absolutely, I would love to. Yeah. So see, as our organization is something wherein people are given opportunities without looking at anything else, just the commitment, right? So if you're committed enough and you really want to do it, you have all the doors open, right? You go anywhere, you pick the door that you want to go to, right? That's the kind of organization we are. And while I was doing it, like I remember my first day of training in front of senior leaders of telecom operators. I was like half the size of what I am right now, and I was not even a graduate, right? A skinny guy standing in front of those operators, a very young person, right? And if you look at the industry, right, people would be, you will find everybody above 40, right? And somebody, a 19, 20-year-old guy standing in front of them and telling them what to do is like, you can't digest it, right? But somehow, I failed in my first attempt. Then we attempted again. After 2 months, again, I prepared myself, went back again, and we started doing it, right? So the organization knew that this person wants to do it, right? Even without any formal degrees, formal education. and this person wants to do it, right? So I think that got my CEO also. I got my CEO's attention, and he wanted me to work with him. So
Very
even
interesting.
before I transitioned into the CEO's office, we will work. It was like my extracurricular activity apart from training. I would do some, strategy pitch decks with him. So, and I think he found that somehow there was a fitment, and he thought that I would be a fit in his
Exactly.
office, and
So
I
the
think that's how
reason
I.
the reason I want to emphasize you on sharing the story is that it's really true that experience doesn't really count to get into product management roles, right? Experience or degrees and so on is not really the most critical thing to get into product management. That's something I want to emphasize for this group as well, and that's why
Yeah, but
I took it up.
yeah, but at the same time, they're like so much. When you really want to be in product management, you need some direction, right? So
Yep.
and that's where I
Yep.
think the education also
Coming to
helps. You
that.
can get started with it, definitely, and but I
Exactly.
think
So that's something I want to get to as well. So
yeah.
what is the, so maybe how do you leverage your existing skills of something you shared? So how did you, Kamal, and then we'll go to Virendra, about how do you, look for a formal training in product management? What got you to take a learning path towards product management is something that I like to know from maybe Virendra first this time, and then we'll come to you, Kamal. So Virendra, go ahead.
Yeah, so when I decided that product management is my calling and it would be beneficial for me as well to express myself and go out there and have a long-lasting impact for our customers as well as our company, I started to look out for some kind of guidance on it. So when I reached out to the other product managers, my mentors, my previous managers as well, so most of them advised me to take up a formal training, which would help me shape up my thoughts, and help me able to, project myself as a potential product manager to wherever I am applying to. So that is how I started looking at the different courses that are available in the market. I had looked at some of the courses which were from product school, which were from IITs and IIMs. Then, money was one of the major concerns, definitely. But I also had a look at how their curriculum is. What is it that they are teaching? And most importantly, how is it that they are teaching? So after shortlisting on some of these course providers, the major factor of shortlisting IPL was the way how it was, how that whole content was delivered. So I had attended an event by Sai Satish Vedam as well. Then from there I got some the contacts of the IPL folks. I used to have like long conversations with them, and these conversations literally lasted for 2.5 months. So that is where I understood how the content is getting delivered. That is when I understood that there is always going to be an instructor and a student connect. It is not always going to be that a video is given to you and you just have to go through that video and answer some quizzes. That is not what I was looking for, because all of that content is already available on YouTube. I just have to search for it. There is no need for a formal training. And that is the reason, I had shortlisted, like basically there was one or two more courses that were there apart from IPL who had similar content delivery approach or similar teaching approach. And after a lot of, again, lot of thought and lot of discussions with my mentors, I shortlisted IPL, and that is how my journey with IPL started. So I started off with the Flex program, and I was again, in touch with all of the people that I was initially talking to within IPL as well as my previous managers. And I also had a word with one of the IPL alumnus as well before even taking the plunge to joining IPL. And that all of these things combined and gave me the confidence that IPL would really help me in learning this whole product management universe and help me move ahead into this area.
Oh, wonderful. So one thing that really drove you was one-to-one mentorship that I would probably, which you believe I would give, and I'm sure he did. He did give me a lot too. So that's something that really influenced me as well. So glad that we're on the same page, at least in this, in whatever reasons we decided IPL for. And go ahead, Kamal. What are your thoughts? And how did you go about figuring out product management courses? Why did you think about taking up a course? And maybe how did you think about IPL? How did you finalize on IPL?
Sure, thank you. So I think I would rewind a little and talk about how I behave as a person. So it's like if I find something interesting, I start learning about it, right? I find my own ways to go to YouTube, start reading ebooks and other stuff. And when I really knew that, I was getting into that role, but I did not have frameworks, I went into LinkedIn learning, right? So I had, Linda content pretty great again. So for self-learning, right? So I went on and did a few courses, right? 4 or 5 courses, very short. Some are like 2 hours, 3 hours, some are 1 hour, 50 minutes. And I realized that that was like something very amazing. And it gave me, to gather my thoughts and put them into a structured framework. I would try and do things, right? So, and I remember a time when a lot of people were trying to synthesize some information. It was like a new product, and we were trying to do certain stuff. So the organization knew that they had to do something, but I think it clicked to me that I have already read about it, and it was a user journey map. And I created that user journey map and presented it to the management, and I think they were like, wow, that's exactly what we wanted. So I think, so slowly what happened is that, I started learning more frameworks and everything. And fortunately, one odd day, my CEO was in Bangalore. He met some people from IPL, and he came back to me and he said, Kamal, I want to sponsor a course for you, right? This is how you go about it. So talk to them and find, if you find merit in it, and you find where you want to go. And that's what he did, and he gave me this course. And I think, yeah, we evaluated, but at that point in time we didn't have many formal IPL course providers at that point in time. I subscribed to it before COVID, and then COVID happened. My course was delayed for a year, but I still waited. I wanted to be, I wanted to attend an in-classroom training program. It was like 3.5 days program at that point in time. But because COVID changed everything, so I finally gave it a lot of thought, and then the faculty and other coordinators told me that, this is the new format of ICPM Flex. And I think I love the idea of blending 4 different kind of learning methods, that you have your own, self-learning, you have quizzes, you have presentations with the faculty, you have one-to-one mentorship. So I think I love the idea about it. And then all of that was like at my own pace. So that's how I went about it. That's how I got introduced to IPL, and I don't regret it. It was a great program. So.
Awesome. So maybe I'll take about 20 seconds and share my experience as well here. So what really got me interested in product, I mean, in picking up a course, is that I really wanted to really get into product management because it was very close to entrepreneurship, and that's what I've seen in the market as well. And really to transition into this, I had entrepreneurship experience, but I still couldn't crack interviews that easily and so on, right? I really had to have a background of product management before I could apply to these roles and so on. That's what I was seeing in some places. But the best part about IPL was that they said you don't need to have a background. All you need to do is, we have companies coming in, you just need to show your skill. So you have a challenge and you succeed in that challenge of the group, and you stand a chance to get placed. So I literally joined the Flex program, and in about 3 months, I was able to finish my course, and I was able to apply, and I actually transitioned into product management role in just about 3 months' time. So that's one of the key promises that IPL made, and it really delivered on it. So I'm super happy about that. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and let's say, what channels did you capitalize on making the move? Like, how did you, I'm sure, I think Virendra, moved within his company, but we'll still talk about that, about how did you guys really, what channels did you use to really move into product management? For example, the way I used Career Cell from Skillathon or Talentathon from IPL. What did you guys use to transition into product management role? That's something I want to hear. Maybe let's go with Virendra first, and then we'll go with Kamal.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Arvind. So the channels were like pretty simple. Like, networking was the major thing that that has helped me a lot. I reached out to a lot of existing product managers on LinkedIn. Many were really helpful in helping me with the assignments, not in detail though, but at a high level. And as well as, I also reached out to product managers within my own company. So they were again more than helpful to guide me as to how should I go about the assignments, how should I think about the problem and then arrive at the solution. I many a times use these opportunities to present some of my assignments to them as well. So this really gave the the existing product managers that were working currently in my company, the confidence as to how I was working it, whether it is in line with how the product managers work, whether I was able to arrive at the solution in its in a proper way, like going through the whole problem scope and understanding the nitty-gritties of the problem, and only then arriving at a solution which is really going to be helpful. So this was one of the major areas that I really used, networking with the existing product managers, discussing my problems with them, discussing the solution components that I had, taking some more guidance from them as well. And ultimately, it so happened that there were some positions internally which were open. And then I reached out to these guys that, okay, this is a new position that has come up. It is in your hierarchy itself. So do you think I would be a better fit based on the discussion that we are having for more than 1.5 years? And that is how I was able to secure an interview, and there were like 6, 7 rounds of interviews even within my company. But then that is how I was able to get through. And just to give you a fun fact, previously I was like managing a team. I encouraged all of my reportees to also apply for these positions, but somehow they were not able to, move ahead given the lack of product sense is what the feedback that I got, that what you had versus what they did not have. So, this really helped.
Very
Networking and
interesting.
showcasing, like, what I've learned.
Very interesting. So I think you've been into the leadership position in technology or engineering side, and you move towards product management now.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. That's wonderful. And you really, no doubt that network is important. So it's also important to have good networking within the companies as well, and that's a great thing to hear. So you have knowledge available around you, and you have people who can influence you. You should always use them and work with them. That's what I understand. Wonderful. So Kamal, so how did you try to move into product management is what I want to understand, and maybe help people here as well.
Yeah, sure. So I think during my program, I would be speaking to a few people for my one-to-one mentorship, and I think they really helped me, refine my assignments and everything, and prepare me for, something bigger. So I think that all that happened, and it's been pretty helpful. But still, I chose to remain in the same company. So within this organization, we have multiple business divisions. So, but then one amazing thing that happened was that I was given a bigger portfolio after my course. It was like a complete organization's products that we manage right now. So I think I deliberately did not choose to go through preparing for interviews, going to the career cell, because I wanted to stay with the same organization. Opportunities looked great, and the work looked bigger. So that's how it happened. But yes, of course, during the course, a lot of interactions with the faculty and with other teammates. So that was great.
Amazing. I mean, I think you guys are a great example to show how you could still grow in your own organization and move into product management roles if you really want to, and how you could really leverage your soft skills and your networking to really move laterally in your own organization or move upwards as well. Amazing. So guys, so maybe one thing that I want to know, or multiple things that I want to know, is how does your responsibilities look like as product managers? Maybe we could go with Kamal first to understand. So what is the difference in your responsibilities that you've taken up that you just touched upon? So maybe elaborate a little more about, what are you enjoying most about it, and what are you getting to learn from that?
Sure, why not? So I think currently what I do is right from conceptualizing the ideas for the new products to the end-to-end delivery, I manage everything in between, right? So it's about, we've conceptualized the idea, went to the customer, bounced off some ideas, and think with them if it's right or not, going to solve their problems or not. Come back, refine your own, and while keeping your intelligence with you, not going away with all the things that people will say. Of course, people will have a lot of things to say. You have to be very careful in picking and choosing that what makes sense for your business goal that you have defined. So right from conceptualizing that idea, coming back with the customer interviews, finding if it's really going in the right direction, coming back to the engineering team, giving a high level view, putting into a roadmap, breaking it down into short stories that would help them deliver, creating the first MVP, bouncing it off with the customers again, making changes, coming back with a prototype, and then MVP and checking with the customer, and then you go full production. And from there, I very closely work with the marketing team to market the product and take it to the market, and finding the best channels for acquisition. So I do like almost everything in this journey.
That's wonderful. That's a great 0 to 1 journey, as I see in your, thoughts as well. So, conceptualization to delivery, 0 to 1, doing it every day is really fun, I'm sure. So, I'm not sure if Virender has the same experience of working in 0 to 1 journey or 1 to 10 or 10 to 100 journey. So, let's hear from him as well.
So I work in a B2B space, and our product is being used by a lot of customers. There is already a lot of roadmap that is in place, but that roadmap is again driven by the feedback that we have already received on our products. So the current, the larger product that I'm working for, I am handling one of the modules of it. So there is already a lot of feedback over the past few years that a lot of our customers had raised, and a lot of suggestions that they had, and a lot of gaps that we see in the way our product is used. So what I did is initially I had to analyze all of these things and bucket them in areas wherein I could create a proper business case as to which feature should we pick up, or which suggestion should we pick up for the next implementation. That was one part of it. Once that is decided, so that we can say, that is how we conceptualize the idea of our next release. So once that was done, then again, discussing the whole problem and the solution, the overall solution with my executives as well as the engineering team, refining that solution piece and creating user stories, and then managing that whole project from initiation till its release date. And once engineering team is working on it, I have to think on picking up the items for our next release. So we need to really prioritize as to what is the most a needed feature that would really impact a lot of our users, and it would really help a lot of our customers in whatever that they are trying to achieve using our product. So working on these things is like initiating one project, giving it to the engineering team, managing its progress, and at the same time working on the next set of features to pick up. What is it that the market needs? How is it that we are going to impact our customers, and in helping them achieve their goal. And also now I have also started talking to our customers directly to understand their feedback, talking to our customer facing teams as to what is it that they are hearing, what is it that the projects that they have to work only for those particular customers, like fixing some product gaps only for them, and bucketing all of these things, putting them into something like a common denominator, which is like across all of our customers, and picking up those features for our next implementation. Also talking to our marketing folks who are like responsible for bringing our next releases to the larger audience, as whenever we are having these customer connects. So to understand what is it that they want from us, explaining them as to what is it that we are trying to implement as part of our future releases, so that they could package it up and then get it across to our customers. So this is all that I really work upon.
Beautiful. And maybe I'll share a bit about myself here as well on the 3 or 4 different product management roles that I've had in different companies. So one of the things that I'm really getting to experience, or I have experienced as well, right? So 0 to 1 journey is a real challenge, right? You don't know what the customers really want. You really need a qualitative analysis. Every time you need to figure out what they want, and you need to validate from the customers as well. And in a 1 to 10 journey, if I may put it that way, right? You really need a lot of data to make any decision. You can't really talk to all customers, right? You have huge number of customers. Who would you talk to? You can't really get anything. So you'll have to rely a lot on metrics. How are the users really using the product? Do we have data about how many people actually log in? Do we have North Star metrics to say what is their retention? What is their referral revenue? How are we really upgrading them, and so on, right? So you really need to rely heavily on the data when you go to 1 to 10 and 10 to 100 journey, for sure. So these are the things that we really need to we really look at in product management. That's something I really wanted to share. So I'm getting to learn a lot at Space, where I'm working in a web application security domain, and really trying to understand why are people not really coming to the portal, not enough people are coming to portal, and so on, right? So, and what do we do about it, right? So gathering data becomes a very important aspect in product management before you make any decision on product roadmap and so on. So yeah, I hear the same from both of you, but I think the methods of getting this data varies greatly depending on which stage of you are in your product journey, right? And so on. So great. So any specific advice from Kamal and Virender? Maybe let's start with Kamal on aspiring product managers, the ones who are actually listening in to us today. Any advice, any piece of advice from you all before we open up the questions?
Okay, I think it's a very, very interesting question, and I would answer it, how I read it. The only thing I would say is never be afraid. Right? That's the only advice. Don't think that you can't do it. Don't be afraid of doing it. Don't think that you are gonna fall. It's all right. Everybody falls, but you will get up. As long as you show the courage and you tell yourself every single day that I'm not afraid, I will be able to do it. I think there is nothing else that can stop you. Every resource, everything, every help. It's like I always say, if you can't answer a question, Google will. If Google can't, your mentors or your friends will. If they can't, then the time will, right? It's like that. So keep looking for answers.
Great,
And
great.
you will be able to do it.
I saw your post on that. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Good one, Kamal. So Virender, any thoughts?
Same thoughts, Arvind, as what Kamal mentioned. I have seen people really skeptical about reaching out to other people and asking for some guidance or asking for some help. Mostly they are like afraid as to how the other person is going to think. But as what Kamal said, just don't be afraid and reach out to as many people as you could. You might, you really don't have to think that how would you be taken by that person? Like, would you be considered like a stupid person to to come up with such questions? It's nothing like that. Everybody is out there to help you. You just need to ask, and you will get all the help that you want.
Really cool. So maybe my thoughts around this also is that as product managers, we need to be soft in our approach, but doesn't mean we should stop in our approach, right? You really need to make sure that you ask the hard questions, but it's about how you ask them, because you don't have people reporting to you, right? So all developers and business analysts, whoever could be reporting to the engineering guys, and you don't have people reporting to you per se. QA would be there and so on, right? So, but you still need to influence them, right? So you really need to ask those tough questions. Why is the sprint not being delivered? Whatever, not, and whatever, right? So, or it could be the marketing to say, why are we not delivering the right messages and so on. You really can't really order, but you only have to influence. So I think the biggest thing or learning that I've got is really not to stop questioning, but also managing the right approach with the questioning and maintaining relationship and influencing people. That's really key to product management and getting people to your side. So that's what I think is critical for product management. So maybe it's time to take some questions, right? Thank you, Kamal. So I think we have one question from Arjun is yet to get this question. Follow of our concepts help in managing product portfolio of FMCG kind of product. Anybody wants to take that, Virender or Kamal?
Yep, sure. I'll take the first one, which says that I'm in sales, and
Okay,
product
sure.
management be really helpful for my career growth. I think, see, in my opinion, I'm being a little casual right here. It's like there would be a couple billion drivers on the road, but there is also Michael Schumacher, right? He's also driving the vehicle. It's that how passionate are you, and you can make any job legendary. It's just about, if you really feel for product management and you think that this is what you have to do, doesn't matter what's your background, it's absolutely fine. It can help you grow. But if you feel more passionate about sales, then probably you should stay in sales, right? That would be this is how I would like to answer it. Of course, product management is like an amazing career right now, and probably one of the highest paid careers in the world right now. And if you do away with the top leadership layer and the top general management layer, the next layer, that's like the hot topic of today's world, is product management. So product management, is it lucrative? Definitely yes. Should you go about it? You have to think. If you feel that this is what you want to do, definitely go about it.
That's really cool. So maybe I share my take on that as well. So he's absolutely right. Is it really for you? Is the question. So, however, to add to what Lakshman was saying, right? Will this help? I think it definitely will. I mean, so if you're in sales, user empathy is something you trained yourself for, and user empathy is extremely important in product management as well. And this is what you will accentuate through this course. Whatever you learn in product management, whatever you found with here, it's really about having a good ear to users and how you measure your user success. That's what drives product management, right? So I think it really helps you get a better perspective about the value you get from the product than the product itself. Product management is not really just about the product, it's really about the value we get to our customers. So coming from sales, I think you get that perspective, is my opinion. So I think we left out Arjun's comment. Skills help in managing product portfolio for FMCG kind of product. There's a lot of learning material on the course, on the Flex program, when you learn something about it. There are many things about what kind of product should be dropped, what kind of product should be kept, depending on various factors. So getting into details could be difficult right now, but I'm sure there's a lot to learn about product performance, product profitability. You could have, as a simple example, you could have a company's, for example, churn rate of all customers, but different verticals, different product verticals could have different churn rates, different profitability, and so on, right? So you need to learn what should be dropped, what should be emphasized, what should be, where should you invest more, which product should you invest more and drive for revenue, and many other things, right? It's what managing the whole product portfolio. So there's a lot to learn around that. So it's something you could learn when you get into the course, or when you do a little more reading about it, or even on the internet, right? So there's a lot to do in product management and FMCG and so on. There's no reason why you can't. So product management is not only about IT, right? Product management is a lot about a product lifecycle, if I may put it that way, and value they give to the users and so on. All right, go ahead. Virendra, you want to take any of these questions? Maybe the next one.
Yeah, so Arvind, just to add to what you and Kamal said, so even to Arjun and Lakshman, and it's like if you really want to solve problems for a set of market, product management is basically kind of a framework on a very high level, if I have to say. It is like a structured thinking approach that would help you arrive at that solution. And if you enjoy doing that, product management is for you. As simple as that, if I want to put it like in plain simple language, without getting into the jargon of it. So yeah, that is what I wanted to add. So the next question is from Debraj. It says, thank you so much for sharing valuable insights. I have 7 years of experience in cloud infrastructure engineering. I do have good experience of client management, providing enriched clients and user experience. How to utilize my current skill sets and transition to product management. Do I have to take a pay cut to move into product management role, provided no prior experience into product management? Okay, so Debraj, the thing is, the skills that are needed for product management, most of us already have those skills. We have already used them in our previous work. Like even if you're into sales, you're talking to the customers, you're trying to understand what their problems are and how your product fits into it. In your case, you already have got that client management experience. Now you're talking to them. You are trying to understand what is the problem with its user experience. You understand the technology part of it of your product. So all of these are definitely transferable skills that are used for your product management role, and definitely there is no need to really take a pay cut. That is like completely up to you. But as per me, if you ask me, there is really no need to definitely take a pay cut, because the pay is always a function of the value that you bring. If you consider yourself, like if you're buying any product, you're paying a value, paying the money for the value that it brings. Similarly, a product manager is also paid based on the value that person brings to the table. And product management, as Kamal really said, that after the top leadership, after the general management, product managers are basically the cockpit of that whole aeroplane of your company. These are the people who are driving that aeroplane. And even though there is like a huge technology team backing you, a huge infrastructure team backing you, huge other support staff backing you, but it is the direction that the product manager provides is where the whole company goes to. And that is what makes the product management role so critical. And definitely it is not something that, these people or people like us are not really paid very less, and there is no such negotiation because of the impact that we bring onto the table.
Really nicely put. Yeah, I really think you don't necessarily have to take pay cut. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would like to. Yeah, Virendra, I think you've done it like brilliantly well. I think you answered it great. About I would like to pick one slice of this question, which is that do I have to take a pay cut to move into product management? So I have a little anecdote to share, right? So unfortunately, I'll not be able to help you with the whole visualization of the story, but there was a man who wanted to work with Edison when Edison was innovating new products, and he said that, man, I want to work with this man. And a lot of people went for the interviews, but he was like quite picky. And this guy said that no matter what, I'm getting a job here. Even if I have to become a janitor at his office, I am getting a job today. And that's exactly what he did. And he joined as a janitor, but he kept observing him, and he knew his work, that this is what I can do with Edison. And Edison launched a new product, and every salesperson said that we can't sell it. It is not going to fly. And this man today, that day, goes to Edison and says that, I will sell it. And actually he made a great thing about it, and he became a business partner with Edison after a couple of years, right? So taking a pay cut, it's like, you really feel for it. You know that you can make it big. It doesn't matter, man. It's completely your choice. But if you really have to do it, do everything, because that's the essence of product management, right? You have a business goal, you have a product in mind, you know that this is what you are going to make real. You don't care about any hurdles, right? You just go about it. So at the end of the day, it's going to turn good.
That's a great entrepreneurial spirit you have. That's awesome. So, all right. Thank you for that, Kamal. And if there are no more questions, maybe I'll turn it over to Pragya. You want to add something?
Yes, audience, you can also raise your hand so we can unmute you, and you can directly ask the question to our panelist and our speaker. So I think we don't have any further questions. So it was great interacting with.
Thank you, Pragya. Thank you for inviting.
Pragya,
Thank you,
very
Kamal
much for
and
organizing
Virendra.
this and for coordinating this. Pragya, thanks a lot. And thanks, Arvind. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Virendra. Nice to know you. Other people I've already spoken to. I've spoken to Arvind. Pragya, I know you today. So hello, and Virendra, good to know you.
Same here, Kamal. Thanks to Pragya, Arvind, and Kamal, you too. So for a great interactive session that we had today, and some really great questions also that came in. These are the exact same questions that I think, even Kamal, you and Arvind, you too might have had in your mind, whenever you started on this product management journey. Definitely, I had these, so we can definitely relate to it, and we are like the examples as to coming up, or rather, coming over all of these things, and now where we are. So hopefully, we serve as an inspiration for everybody to take up onto this journey.
Absolutely.
So audience, this is for you to book an exclusive 30-minute session with any of our senior counselors. You can just scan the QR code. Here's a moment to scan the QR code. And thank you so much, Arvind, Kamal, and Virendra, for this interactive session, taking up all the questions. And it was a very engaging session. And thank you for joining in from your busy schedule. So thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
with this note,
Thank
I
you, everyone.
end today's session.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Happy weekend, everyone.